Chapter 2. When anyone brings a grain offering as an offering to the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour. He shall pour oil on it and put frankincense on it and bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests. And he shall take from it a handful of the fine flour and oil with all of its frankincense, and the priest shall burn this as its memorial portion on the altar, a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. But the rest of the grain offering shall be for Aaron and his sons. It is a most holy part of the Lord's food offerings. When you bring a grain offering baked in the oven as an offering, it shall be unleavened loaves of fine flour mixed with oil, or unleavened wafers smeared with oil. And if your offering is a grain offering baked on a griddle, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mixed with oil. You shall break it in pieces and pour oil on it. It is a grain offering. And if your offering is a grain offering cooked in a pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the grain offering that is made of these things to the Lord, and when it is presented to the priest, he shall bring it to the altar. And the priest shall take from the grain offering its memorial portion, and burn this on the altar, a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. But the rest of the grain offering shall be for Aaron and his sons. It is a most holy part of the Lord's food offerings. No grain offering that you bring to the Lord shall be made with leaven, for you shall burn no...
Sorry, I have a typo. I think I have a typo. Leviticus 4. It's my fault. Wait. Sorry. There we go.
Chapter 4. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, saying, If anyone sins unintentionally in any of the Lord's commandments about things not to be done, and does any one of them, if it is the anointed priest who sins, thus bringing guilt on the people, then he shall offer for the sin that he has committed a bull from the herd without blemish to the Lord for a sin offering. He shall bring the bull to the entrance of the tent of meeting before the Lord, and lay his hand on the head of the bull, and kill the bull before the Lord. And the anointed priest shall take some of the blood of the bull, and bring it into the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle part of the blood 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense before the Lord, that is in the tent of meeting, and all the rest of the blood of the bull he shall pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering, that is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And all the fat of the bull of the sin offering he shall remove from it, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the long lobe of the liver that he shall remove with the kidneys, just as these are taken from the ox of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them on the altar of burnt offering. But the skin of the bull and all its flesh, with its head, its legs, its entrails, and its dung, all the rest of the bull, he shall carry outside the camp to a clean place, to the ash heap, and shall burn it up on a fire of wood. On the ash heap it shall be burned up. If the whole congregation of Israel sins unintentionally, and the thing is hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they do any one of the things that by the Lord's commandments ought not to be done, and they realize their guilt, when the sin which they have committed becomes known, the assembly shall offer a bull from the herd for a sin offering, and bring it in front of the tent of meeting. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands on the head of the bull before the Lord, and the bull shall be killed before the Lord. Then the anointed priest shall bring some of the blood of the bull into the tent of meeting, and the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil. And he shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar that is in the tent of meeting before the Lord, and the rest of the blood he shall pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering that is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And all its fat he shall take from it and burn on the altar. Thus shall he do with the bull. As he did with the bull of the sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make atonement for them, and they shall be forgiven. And he shall carry the bull outside the camp, and burn it up as he burned the first bull. It is the sin offering for the assembly. When a leader sins, doing unintentionally any one of all the things that by the commandments of the Lord his God ought not to be done, and realizes his guilt, or the sin which he has committed is made known to him, he shall bring as his offering a goat, a male without blemish, and shall lay his hand on the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour out the rest of its blood at the base of the altar of burnt offering. And all its fat he shall burn on the altar, like the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. So the priest shall make atonement for him for his sin, and he shall be forgiven. If any one of the common people sins unintentionally in doing any one of the things that by the Lord's commandments ought not to be done, and realizes his guilt, or the sin which he has committed is made known to him, he shall bring for his offering a goat, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has committed. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the sin offering, and kill the sin offering in the place of burnt offering. And the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour out all the rest of its blood at the base of the altar. And all its fat he shall remove, as the fat is removed from the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it on the altar for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. If he brings a lamb as his offering for a sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, and lay his hand on the head of the sin offering, and kill it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour out all the rest of its blood at the base of the altar. And all its fat he shall remove, as the fat of the lamb is removed from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it on the altar on top of the Lord's food offerings. And the priest shall make atonement for him for the sin which he has committed, and he shall be forgiven. The Psalms. Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. Psalm 2. Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us burst their bonds apart, and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath, and terrify them in his fury, saying, As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, You are my son, today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron, and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish in the way. For his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Chapter 19. Better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than one who is crooked in speech and is a fool. Desire without knowledge is not good, and whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way. When a man's folly brings his way to ruin, his heart rages against the Lord. Wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will not escape. Many seek the favor of a generous man, and everyone is a friend to a man who gives gifts. All a poor man's brothers hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, but does not have them. Whoever gets sense loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will discover good. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who breathes out lies will perish. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury, much less for a slave to rule over princes. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. A king's wrath is like the growling of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is ruin to his father, and a wife's quarreling is a continual dripping of rain. House and wealth are inherited from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Whoever keeps the commandment keeps his life. He who despises his ways will die. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. Discipline your son, for there is hope. Do not set your heart on putting him to death. A man of great wrath will pay the penalty, for if you deliver him, you will only have to do it again. Listen to advice and accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. What is desired in a man is steadfast love, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and whoever has it rests satisfied. He will not be visited by harm. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, and will not even bring it back to his mouth. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will learn prudence. Reprove a man of understanding, and he will gain knowledge. He who does violence to his father and chases away his mother is a son who brings shame and reproach. Cease to hear instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. A worthless witness mocks at justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Condemnation is ready for scoffers, and beating for the backs of fools. Chapter 2. For I want you to know how great a struggle I have for you, and for those at Laodicea, and for all who have not seen me face to face, that their hearts may be encouraged, being knit together in love, to reach all the riches of full assurance of understanding and the knowledge of God's mystery, which is Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. I say this in order that no one may delude you with plausible arguments. For though I am absent in body, yet I am with you in spirit, rejoicing to see your good order and the firmness of your faith in Christ. Therefore, as you received Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught, abounding in thanksgiving. See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. For in him the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily, and you have been filled in him, who is the head of all rule and authority. In him also you were circumcised with a circumcision made without hands, by putting off the body of the flesh, by the circumcision of Christ, having been buried with him in baptism, in which you were also raised with him through faith in the powerful working of God, who raised him from the dead. And you who were dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, God made alive together with him, having forgiven us all our trespasses, by canceling the record of debt that stood against us with its legal demands. This he set aside, nailing it to the cross. He disarmed the rulers and authorities and put them to open shame by triumphing over them in him. Therefore let no one pass judgment on you in questions of food and drink, or with regard to a festival or a new moon or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. Let no one disqualify you, insisting on asceticism and worship of angels, going on in detail about visions, puffed up without reason by his sensuous mind, and not holding fast to the head, from whom the whole body, nourished and knit together through its joints and ligaments, grows with a growth that is from God. If with Christ you died to the elemental spirits of the world, why, as if you were still alive in the world, do you submit to regulations? Do not handle, do not taste, do not touch, referring to things that all perish as they are used, according to human precepts and teachings. These have indeed an appearance of wisdom in promoting self-made religion and asceticism and severity to the body, but they are of no value in stopping the indulgence of the flesh.
The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Father, thank you for today. Right away, we lift up Mom to you. Pray that the meds would have their effect and that she would rest comfortably, that you would touch her in her body and restore her to as close to normal as possible, Lord. I pray that she not suffer, but that she get the sleep she needs. Father, I thank you for this time with my friends. Guide my words, guide my tongue. Pray all these things in your name. Amen. Yeah, Mom had a flare-up yesterday, sometime yesterday. I don't know if it was morning, noon, but she was in the hospital for a while. It was the diverticulitis flare-up, and so it's just something she has to live with, I guess. And every now and then she'll have flare-ups. So I didn't take a lot of notes today. My mind was wandering all over the place. I'll give you that in a minute. Let's just do those. Or no, I'll give you the notes now, and then I'll kind of give you guys some updates. I did officially, I guess, officially rebrand the main YouTube channel. I only posted one video yesterday, but did a bit of rebranding. So let's see. See if I can show you something from this side. Let's see. Anyway, California track dad. So I'm going to do that for a while. We'll see. All right, let me do my notes. Am I discombobulated right now? Maybe a little. Here's how. I'll get to that. Actually, my only notes today are from Proverbs. There's two lines. Oh, Mom just texted me. Hold on. She texted me blank space. So it's either a butt dial or maybe she's coming in. Maybe she's joining us. I don't know. We'll see. She literally just, I'm going to call it a butt text. Proverbs. So the first, there she is. I prayed for you, Mom, and told everybody that you had a flare-up and that you were in the hospital and that you were resting. Not feeling well, but at home. Yeah, we love you, Mom. Mom tunes in for the update, no matter how she's feeling. I love you, Mom. I'll give you a call later. All right. This is Psalms. This is not Proverbs. Where's Proverbs? This is Psalms. Oops, Proverbs is down here. Past it. There it is. All right. So in this proverb, and I may have said this in the past, but this is probably the very first Bible verse that I memorized, intentionally memorized. There were Bible verses that stuck with me, that came to me when I was actually first became a Christian at the age of 18. There were a couple of verses that popped into my head. I didn't know they were Bible verses. I didn't know where they were from, but they were there. God planted them. Of course, I know where they're from. They were from Mom keeping me in church as a child, and you're just going to hear truth, and it's going to go in, and it's going to stick, and the Lord is going to bring it back. They're going to go in like seeds and land in the soil, and when that soil is properly watered, they sprout up, and that's the conversion. That was my conversion. So those are verses that I know that I didn't intentionally memorize, but the very first verse I intentionally memorized is right here. Proverb 19 and verse 21. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand. And in fact, there's two proverbs that are very similar. Both of them, they were. I say I memorized. The other one is actually, I think, coming up in the next chapter or two, but it's very similar. It's many of the plans in a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. But 19:21, I distinctly remember memorizing Proverb 19:21. Many of the plans in the mind of a man, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand. So that I say I memorized it, but did I take it to heart? Do I really believe it? That would be memorizing it. And I obviously believe it, but it just comes back. It comes back at me all the time, and at such times as these, right? Many are the plans, many plans, and you guys have been around long enough to know I'm like the plan man. I've got so many plans. I've got 12 different plans that all have priority. I'm not kidding. I got a list of 12 things that I narrowed it down, right, to 12. And they're all interrelated, etc. There's a lot of plans, 12 plans, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand. And so that brings me back. I know what I want to do, and it's not wrong to make plans. This is not saying silly man, you and your plans. It's not what it's saying. It's not saying silly man, you and your plans. What a waste. You're wasting your time. God intends for us to plan. God gave us minds. God gave us intellect, reason, rationality. We're supposed to use it. Use what He gave us. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. You got to engage the mind and look at your circumstances and plan accordingly. And so I've got plans, but it's the Lord's purpose that will stand. So that second part is it's kind of the stabilizer, right? It's the confidence. It's the thing that we trust. And maybe, I don't know if I've ever said this, but our plans, sometimes they are the Lord's purpose, right? It's like, how does God act? He uses human decision making, right? His will is enacted through human decision making. I mean, he's the one that orchestrates everything and brings everything together, and weaves this tapestry of human life, the fabric of our lives together. And so it is His will And sometimes our plans and our thoughts are exactly what he wants to happen. And those are the beautiful ones when we have a plan, we believe it's the right thing to do, and it comes to pass, and that's the confirmation. The Lord was inspiring us and guiding us. So the reason this is standing out to me let's move on to this next verse, because it kind of hones it in, and I'll transition into just a little bit of updating. Strike a scoffer, verse 25. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will learn prudence. Reprove a man of understanding, and he will gain knowledge. So, at first half, I don't identify with. I'm not a scoffer. Well, okay. I'm not a scoffer in the sense that this is talking about, right? I scoff at Satan. I scoff at people who are deceived by Satan, or I scoff at the ideas of those who are in that camp, deceived by Satan. But reprove a man of understanding, and he will gain knowledge. So I had a bit of a reproval yesterday. I had some reproving. Here's the detail. In all my planning and many plans, in all my planning, I have a lawyer, that it's a bit of a catch-22. She's amazing. She's a Christian, and she's a tough as nails Hollywood litigator. Right? She's the kind of lawyer you want for the kind of thing I'm doing. The catch-22 is she's expensive, so I can't just talk to her all the time. She's been very gracious and given me many hours of consultation for free, as she is aware of my circumstances. But so I've been working with the team and brainstorming and planning and doing stuff, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked, filled her in on a few things that she didn't know, and she was very she does her research, right? She's diligent, and she said she gives me suggestions, or she'll say things, and I take them as suggestions, but I should take them as gospel, or I don't know, right? So I'm in that position where she knows the Hollywood system, she knows how Hollywood works, or she'll say how to do a thing, or I'll bring up a thing, and she's like, "Oh no, that could get you into trouble in this way or that way," right? So I ought to listen to her, but I guess I wasn't listening as closely as I should in that last conversation. And so I had scheduled a call with her yesterday because I had a meeting set up for today. And I'm like, well, I should tell her about the meeting I have set up for today. And then I'm like, no, I think I canceled our call, saying, you know what, I have another meeting. I'll call you afterwards. I'm going to talk about such XYZ in this meeting. So I sent her an email to that effect. And then she calls me. She's like, you should never put that kind of stuff in an email, or something like that. And no, this is blah, blah, blah. And I thought I got this through to you, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was behind us, blah, blah, blah. And I was apologetic in the sense, because I was taking what she was saying as a suggestion, but not listening to really the reasoning behind it. And so I was reproved, and I like to think I'm a man of understanding. I was reproved by my very experienced and knowledgeable Hollywood lawyer. And I like to think I have gained knowledge from that conversation. It doesn't help me. Well, it does help me, but it doesn't make the decision-making process any easier. It actually makes certain aspects. I know I'm just kind of beating around the bush, but the word of the Lord is here to speak to me, and the Lord is speaking to me, and I'm grateful that you're here. I love you, Mom. And I know you have a meeting coming up with your doctor scheduled. So just keep praying for Mom and praying for me. Love you all. See you guys tomorrow.